is Clement Pepe. I'm a success coach. We're going to talk today about a subject that probably human beings have experienced at least once in their lives, and that's fear. And as you notice, I've got that fear spelled out kind of like the F-E-A-R. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Probably some things you've heard about this before, but we're going to talk about it in a way that is really going to help you to get past some of the fear that you may experience, etc., in your life. And so, again, back to what I do. The name of the company I represent is Power Technology. Represented, own it, created it back in the early or middle 1980s, and my first client came to me in 1992. It's called Power Technology. It's a coaching company. And then also to Power Technology Coaching Academy. That's where I'm training and certifying coaches to go out and spread the word and teach the tools and techniques and practices and principles that I've been teaching over the last 28 and a half years. And we'll talk more about that a little bit later. But today I want to go into, again, the word fear and really putting and pushing through fear. That's really what we're going to talk about today. And again, as always, I'll say this only because maybe you've heard it before and forgot it, or someone new here today. But again, listen not from I agree or I disagree to this time that we're talking together, but listen from a place of possibility, asking yourself the question, where could I use this in my life out there in the world? And then go out, try it on, see if it fits, work a while. And then you'll know better how it works for you, rather than, oh, I don't know if I agree with that. Oh, I don't know if I agree with that, etc. That's not going to work. So be there from that place of possibility. Go out, try it on, see if it fits, work a while. As you notice, I have fear spelled out F-E-A-R. And you've probably heard this analogy before. Fear, F-E-A-R, false evidence appearing real. Now, you may have heard that before. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But I want to talk a little bit about what that really means. False evidence appearing real. And in order to do that, I want to tell you a little story. About 24 years ago now or so, my wife Mercedes and I moved into this house where I'm doing all these broadcasts here. And we had a neighbor, and his name is Jack, or was Jack. Unfortunately, he passed away. A nice guy. First, when we first got here, he said to me, he said, I've got a lemon tree next door, to your house, and it kind of hangs out over your fence. So if you ever want to take a lemon or something, then go ahead and do it. We're never going to eat all of those lemons we did. And so I did. In fact, I bought a big thing that you can just pull the lemons down with, et cetera, et cetera. And so, but let's say, by the way, the lemons over there were almost like grapefruits. They are humongous. But let's say I brought one of those lemons into this room here today. And let's say you were sitting across the desk from me. And I had a plate that I put the lemon on, and I had a knife. And then I cut through the lemon, and I started and you see the juices falling off, and then the lemon just, it's cut in half. Then let's say I took that lemon and I put it up to my mouth and started squeezing that lemon into my mouth. It's like that. And you're watching. Now, let me ask you a question. What's going on with your mouth right now? What's going on with your lips right now? Maybe they're puckered. Mine are watery, by the way. And just the thing is, though, there's no lemon. But what happens in our physiology is that we start to experience things as if they're really going on. For example, the lemon. There's no lemon here, but yet our mind doesn't know it. It's imagining it. It's appearing real, if you will. And so the same happens with fear. That's what false evidence appearing real means. It actually appears like it's going on. Our body reacts to it just as if it was going on. So if we've got a situation where, let's say we're in sales or a business owner and we're going to make a phone call, and we have this imaginary conversation going on in our minds that, they may say no and I'll get rejected. Oh, I'm afraid of that. Oh, I wouldn't want to get rejected, etc. Well, the mind, just like the lemon, doesn't know whether that's actually going on or not. It actually is occurring in our mind. And so that's an opportunity for you to really experience that as if it's really going on. It's almost like I said, your mind doesn't know the difference. The physiology in the body starts to change as if this is actually going on for you. And the same with with the lemon. The physiology in the body, your mind, your mouth starts to water, your lips start to pucker, and there ain't no lemon there. And so it's the same with our fear or our perceived fear about what we're about to take on, you say. And it's interesting too, because I don't know how many were you here last week when I did my presentation here, or if you've seen the tape since then. I had a little situation going on where, and this has never happened to me, by the way. I've been in Toastmasters, which is a great, by the way, public speaking organization. You ever get a chance to go or join, definitely do it. This is not a commercial for Toastmasters, but I'll talk about it as much as I can, wherever I can. But I've been doing that about 30 years, and I've been speaking in front of people on camera, etc., for probably even longer than that. And never once have I been in a situation where my throat got so clogged up as it did last week. I mean, it was so dry, I couldn't even speak. You saw it if you were here. If you haven't seen it, go back over the last week's conversation. It was the title of it was Consensus Reality. But I couldn't say a word. And there's a little button on the video here that when you are doing a Facebook Live, if you've not been before, there's a little button that says finish. And finish is with, like, you're going to end the segment. And so, but you probably know what I'm talking about here. My mind was going crazy when I was in that process of not being able to speak. The water wasn't helping anything. It was just like so, and you may have gotten that dry mouth before, but I was really close and and this was all it was going on in my mind. Oh my God, I'm afraid that there's going to be a mess or this, etc. So I was close to pushing that finish button. But when you push the finish button on a Facebook Live, you can't go back to it again. It stays, it's gone. Now you'd have to start a whole new thing. And so I had to keep talking to myself and creating a new conversation out of not finishing it. And what I kept on telling myself is, and this came to my mind as I was doing it, the show must go on. That's what I kept, the show must go on, etc., etc. So I kept pushing myself through the fear of what it was looking like, what people were thinking, what was the situation going on, how were you doing with your presentation that you were talking about. I had to keep pushing through that in order to continue with the path that I started off in the first place, which was to create a talk which was going to help people in regards to what we were talking about. And so that's the same that goes on with us. And by the way, as I did that, I was able to get past the choking. I was able to take a cough drops, which helped me soothe my throat, etc., etc. And I wouldn't have experienced the ability to go forward and to make things happen if I had just hit the finish button and let my fear do the talking, so to speak. And I'm saying that to impress you, but I'm saying that to impress upon you that you've probably got those kind of things going on in your life every day. What you say you're going to do, then you make up kind of a conversation that may not be in alignment with what it is that you say you want to do. And you may start talking yourself out of doing what you said you were going to do because you've created that false evidence that starts to appear real in your mind, just like the lemon incident. Well, what we've got to start doing, though, is we've got to press through that. Now, fear is a natural process in human being. I think it kept the species alive. You know, if you saw a Tyrannosaurus Rex or something, you probably should be afraid of it. You shouldn't probably walk over to, hey, how you doing? You know, so it kept us out of the realm of getting extinct, really. So maybe it was built into us for that purpose. So when we experience fear, it's a natural concept for a human being. It's not like, oh, I'm afraid, maybe I shouldn't do this. In fact, it's interesting because, you know, we all have a comfort zone. We're going to use this little circle here as a comfort zone. So all of us are in a comfort zone. Comfort zone is basically something we've been doing for a while, and it's gotten comfortable for us. And so we're really knowing what's in there, and we're comfortable doing it. So there's not a lot of fear, for the most part, that is taking part or place in activities that are going on in our comfort zone. But let's say you've got something that's outside the comfort zone. Let's say you've not public spoke before, we'll say, and you're now saying, okay, I'd like to be a public speaker. Well, that's outside your comfort zone. Now, the interesting thing that happens with human beings, when we start to take an action to get to outside our comfort zone, there's where fear starts to rise up. And the interesting thing is that we either do one of two things. We can press through that fear to get outside the comfort zone, or we can not press through the fear and let the fear win, and we would revert back into our comfort zone. And the interesting thing about the comfort zone, how to get outside the comfort zone is not in our comfort zone. The directions on how to get out there are outside our comfort zone. The directions on how to get out there are not in our comfort zone. So we have to take that action to get outside the comfort zone to know how we got outside the comfort zone. That sounds a little bit backward, but it's not. It's the way it works. And so when we get to that place where it says, okay, I've got to take some action to get to this place. And again, it could be writing a book. It could be applying for another job. It could be going back to school. It could be asking a member of the opposite sex, if you're single, for a date, or if you are looking to make a sale, to call someone, or to ask that person to say or do something that you are afraid of, or got a conversation that's outside your comfort zone. All those things, when it's time to take action, there's going to be fear. There's no way that we're going to do that. We're human beings. That happens for us. Now, the key is understanding it, and also understanding, and that's why I gave you the analogy of the lemon, understanding that all the things that you are having create in your mind that are going to happen if you go outside this comfort zone are just things that you're creating in your mind. They are not the things that are actually going to happen. In fact, did you ever do that? Did you ever have a goal or dream or something you said you were going to do, and you kept making up how bad it was going to be, and then you did it, and what you thought was going to be like was nothing like it? Probably, if you haven't, then you probably are not telling the truth, because we all did that. And yet we put so much energy on the aspect of having to do this. A lot of times we didn't or wouldn't do it, but most times if we have to do it, we do it. And then it's like, oh my God, I put myself all through that for nothing. And so what we want to start to do then is we want to, when we get to that place where we know we need to take action, we've committed to taking action, we know it's the thing to do, we need to take the action. Now, how do we do that? We basically do two things. There are two words, and we've talked about this before. When we get to some place that we say we're going to do something, what we've got to tell ourselves is just start. That's all we have to remember. And it usually takes about 6 seconds of courage on your part to do that start. So if you've got a commitment to make a phone call to a prospect or someone that you're going to ask something of, all you got to do is tell yourself, just start. Pick up the phone, start dialing. If you have a situation where you're going to ask someone for a referral, let's say you're in sales or a business owner, then all you got to do is just start. Just put that out there. Say the words. And you watch. When you've done that, you pass through that barrier that you've got in your mind that was telling you all those other things that possibly could happen. And most times, and I've been in, let's say it's a sales situation. I've been in sales for over 50 years now. I've been selling, teaching, coaching, etc. Probably over 50 years. I don't know ever have I heard of a situation where a salesperson made a phone call and they died because they called that person. I never heard one in my whole life. And yet, what we do in our mind sometimes is make it like that's almost what's going to happen. If I do this or if I do that, because again, just like the lemon and how our mouth was puckering and our lips were doing what they were doing, it seems real. So if we stay in that conversation about how it's going to be, it's going to get more real, more real, more real. By starting, just taking that first step, then you've passed through that conversation. Now you're in action. And when you're in action, I'll bet you're going to make things happen. You say. And the key is more action you take toward your goals, whatever goals they are, whether they be financial goals, spiritual goals, health and fitness goals, relationship goals, community goals, whatever goals you have, if you take action toward those goals on a consistent basis, you're going to realize those goals a lot more than if you don't take as much action. And so our job is to talk ourselves into taking the action. And the best way to do that I know of, just start. Because again, as we've talked about before, we don't get into the gym and then we work out at home. Now, I guess we're not doing too much gym now, but we don't get in there and say, oh, this is stupid. Why did I even bother to do this? No, you're going to complete it. But how many times have you said, I'm going to work out and didn't start it? You say, and that's the key. Just start. And like I said, all you need is just 6 seconds of courage to do these things. You don't need a lifetime of courage. You just need 6-second increments, 6 seconds to make that call, 6 seconds to ask that question, 6 seconds to do that thing. That's all we really need. And so from here on in, by the way, it takes practice to do this. You're going to get to that edge of the comfort zone where you're going to have to take action. At first, you're going to have to press yourself to do that. The mind is going to want to talk you out of it. You've got to take that action. And how do we get a practice habit? Is we do it consistently. We do it for 30 days straight. And then the have tos become a get to. That's the good thing about a habit, is we have to do the habit in the beginning. And then there'll be a time when we'll want to do the habit. And that's what we want to get to. Our goals are out there. We want to get into the situation where we've created the habit that's going to push us toward it, rather than create the habit that's going to take us away. And we have that power within us. It was given to us by the Creator. We were created in His image as creators. So we have that ability to create. And most of the things we want to create are outside our comfort zone. So we get to take action on a consistent basis to create that. And we'll know how we're doing by the amount of action we're taking and by the amount of creation that we're generating. Not bad, not wrong, not guilt, not blame. We don't go there anymore. I call that old-time religion. But what that does do is it helps us to see what works and what doesn't work for us. And that's always what we want to look at. What's working and what's not working. And the best way to look at it is by the outcomes. The outcomes will tell you, have I been taking enough action toward my goal, whatever goal that you have. If you haven't, don't make it wrong. Just make an adjustment. All right. So starting tomorrow, I'm going to create more habit toward this. Or starting today, I'm going to make whatever it might be. And then as we start doing that, we're going to create more of what we want out there. And that's the key to all of it. What we want is okay. We're want machines. Human beings are want machines. That's a part of the whole human race, really. So don't make it wrong that you want something. It's okay. But now, what's not okay is for you to revert back through the fear that you don't take to get that which you want. And most of the times when we're wanting something, it's most likely going to help somebody else, whether our family, whether the clients we're talking to, whether the people that are in our lives. Those things that we want, for the most part, are probably going to benefit more than just ourselves. So it's okay to want. In fact, it's a part of human nature, just like it's a part of human nature to experience fear. And so our job, again, is not to operate outside of what it is that works for us. Our job is to operate inside and utilize what we have within us to create these goals. So let me tell you a little bit more about our coaching program here at Power Technology. These are the things that we, as a coach, really have been teaching our clients and students over the last, like I say, 28 and a half years now I've been coaching. And basically, Power Technology is an opportunity for people really to come together in a synergistic relationship called coaching. And when two people come together working on the same goal, that raises the power within each of them individually. And that's what a coach does. So if you're interested in finding out what we do here, or you know someone that you feel could use the work we're doing, if they're in sales and they want to take it to another level, if they're making, let's say, 100,000, they want to make 200,000, or if they're a small business owner and they've got $200,000 of revenue coming in, they want to take it to 500,000, whatever. That's a good person for me to talk to. And we offer a free consultation and self-analysis where that person can take a look and see what's working, what's not working in their lives. And then we can get together and see if this is a fit for them or for you. And then we would move forward from there. And the other is the Power Technology Coaching Academy. Again, I've been doing this a long time. I put this all together way back when, in, like I said, the middle 1980s. And I've been able to create and generate coaching students along the way. So I'm teaching people how to be a coach and use the Power Technology coaching system in order to really help their clients get what they want. And then I'm certifying them to be success coaches. So if you're interested in looking at how it is that you can get into a profession that is so fulfilling and so rewarding. Again, I've made quite a good living over the last 28 and a half years as a coach. And I want to teach other people how to do that. And so that's the website there is ptcoachingacademy.com. And those two websites will give you a little bit more information about what we're doing. I have those up on the description of the Facebook page here, but I just wanted to bring that up to you. And also, too, as you know, this work that we do here is an opportunity really to share what I've learned over the last, well, I'll be 75 years in September, so over the last probably 70 years. The first 5 years, I don't know if I learned that much, but over this last 70 years. And so I like to get it out to the world. And the way we could do that is if you take your Facebook page now and just share it on your feed and maybe leave it up there just for maybe 24 hours only. This will get that out to a lot more people than just the amount of people that are coming here. And so if you see value and you want to share this with the world, then go ahead and hit share. And then, like I said, just leave it up for 24, or if you're feeling generous, leave it up for 48 hours on your feed, because that gives other people who you are in touch with an opportunity to learn what we're doing here. And also, too, if you liked what we did here, just hit the like, or if you got some comments that you'd like to make about this presentation or other things that you'd like to hear about, or things that you may be working on or struggling with. I know we're going through some stuff right now that this nation, I don't know, has been, not for as long as I've been here anyhow, has been in this situation. But again, it's the situation we're in. So the key is really, how am I going to make the best of the situation that we're in? Not that we can like it or not like it, because nobody cares. How do I make the best of the way that it is? But if you're interested in finding out more about what we do, or you have a like or a share or a comment, go ahead and put those on there, if you will. Now, in closing, I just want to say this again. Fear is a natural occurrence. Don't make it wrong. Don't make it bad. Don't feel bad. Don't put yourself down. All you got to remember, when that comes up for you, we are going to say you're going to do something and you get to be afraid of it. You got to just do one thing really, but it's two words: just start. Just practice that. When the alarm goes off in the morning and you say you're going to get up at that particular time, just start. Just throw your legs over the bed, get up, walk away from the bed. You say you're going to exercise, get to where you're going to exercise, put the clothes on, whatever you're going to do, just start. You say you're going to make some calls to prospects or people that could assist you in your business, Just start. Pick up the phone, start calling. And I promise you, what'll happen is you will start not only moving past your comfort zone, but you will start letting the universe participate with you and giving you more of what it is you say you want. Try it on. See if it fits. Wear it for a while. Over this next week, every time you come to a place and you're at that point, should I do it? Should I not? Tell yourself, just start. Just start. And then take that action, and the action will result in activity. The activity will result in productivity. Productivity will result in the goals you said you want to have happen for you. I appreciate you being here. Have a great rest of the week. Stay safe, stay good, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.